Your dog loves you. That's the one thing every single person on the planet agrees on. You look into their eyes and you see unconditional loyalty. You see a best friend. You see a member of the family. But your dog is not what you think it is. Your dog is the world's most successful con artist, and it has been running a 10,000-year psychological scam on your brain to steal your food, your bed, and your entire way of life. This is not a joke, and it is not an exaggeration. For decades, we have told ourselves a very comforting story about how the modern dog came to exist. We say that we, the brilliant tool-wielding humans, walked into the wilderness, captured a pack of dangerous wolves, and through sheer force of will, domesticated them. We bent nature to our desires. We acted like the masters of the animal kingdom, training the wild to be tame. We put the leashes on them. We put the roofs over their heads. We acted like benevolent gods who took pity on a wild animal. And that entire story is completely, undeniably backwards. Because the truth is, 30,000 years ago, the wolves didn't come to us for food. They didn't beg at the edge of our campfires because they wanted to be our friends. They came to us because we were messy. We left scraps behind. We were an easy target for a scavenger willing to take a risk. And over thousands of generations, those scavengers changed. They didn't just learn to eat our leftovers. They learned to read us, to understand our gestures, to predict our movements, and eventually, to manipulate our emotions with surgical precision. They watched us, they figured us out, and they realized that if they could just get close enough, they wouldn't just survive, they would thrive, completely at our expense. But here's what's fascinating. We tend to think of dog evolution as a one-way street. The wolf changes, the human stays the same. But modern geneticists have found something that flips that idea entirely. Dogs didn't just evolve alongside us, they co-evolved with us. Their DNA is a mirror of our own history. When human populations migrated across the globe, our dogs went with them. When our diets changed from hunting to farming, their digestion changed. When our brains developed the complex social networks required to build cities and civilizations, their brains developed the exact same architecture to navigate those networks. They are the only other species on the planet that looks you in the eyes and intuitively understands what you are feeling. And they aren't just guessing. They were programmed by thousands of years of natural selection to do it. The depth of this manipulation didn't just stop at behavior. It altered their very anatomy. To understand how deep this goes, we have to look at a specific piece of facial hardware. It's called the levator anguli oculi medialis, or, in simpler terms, the inner eyebrow muscle. In 2019, a team of researchers at Duquesne University published a study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. They were trying to figure out why humans are so uniquely susceptible to dog emotions. Why does seeing a dog look sad make us want to adopt it on the spot? The researchers compared the facial anatomy of dogs to their closest wild ancestors, wolves. And they found something that shouldn't have been there. Wolves do not have the levator anguli oculi medialis. It is completely absent in their DNA. It simply does not exist. A wolf cannot raise its inner eyebrow. It has no muscular hardware to do so. If a wolf is sad, you will never know it. Its face is a closed book. But dogs do. Every single domestic dog on the planet has this small, specialized muscle. And when they use it, it makes their eyes appear larger, more infant-like. It mimics the exact facial expression human babies make when they are distressed, pulling on the exact same evolutionary triggers that make us want to protect a child. This is not a coincidence. This is biological engineering on a scale we never saw coming. For 10,000 years, humans have been breeding dogs. We kept the ones that were friendly. We kept the ones that were cute. And without even realizing it, we were selecting for animals that could physically manipulate our parenting instincts. We were rewarding them for triggering the exact same neurochemical response in our brains that a human baby triggers. They hijacked our empathy. They learned how to push our buttons before we even knew they were pushing them. We did the dirty work of their evolution for them. And they didn't just stop at their faces. They rewired their entire hormonal systems to work with ours. In 2015, a study out of Linköping University in Sweden looked at what happens biologically when a human and a dog make eye contact. The researchers measured the oxytocin levels in both species during a simple 10-minute interaction. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone. It's the chemical your brain releases when you look at a loved one, when you hug a child, when you fall in love. It is the ultimate signal of trust and attachment in the animal kingdom. What the researchers found was staggering. When the humans and the dogs stared into each other's eyes, the oxytocin levels in the humans spiked by up to 300%. That part makes sense. We love our dogs. But the dog's oxytocin levels spiked by 130% as well. The chemical reaction was mutual. They were literally getting a hormonal high out of the interaction, the exact same bonding loop found between a human mother and her infant. They weren't just tolerating us, they were getting high off us. It is a two-way street. We aren't just projecting human emotions onto them. They are chemically addicted to the connection too. They are biologically locked into needing us just as much as we think we need them. But here is the part that nobody talks about. Your dog doesn't do this with other dogs. That inner eyebrow raise, it's not used when dogs are playing with each other. The intense, sustained eye contact, it only happens when you are involved. The hormonal spike, it is exclusively triggered by human interaction. They have evolved an entire suite of biological behaviors that are specifically designed to be turned on and off by you. They are, biologically speaking, hardwired to perform for an audience of one. When they are at the dog park, they are animals. When they walk into your living room, they become actors. They know exactly when to turn on the charm, and they save it all for you. The scope of their strategy goes even further. They didn't just wait for us to choose them. They changed the very timeline of our evolution. Biologists studying ancient burial sites have found that humans thousands of years ago were buried with their dogs, not as tools, not as food, as companions. We altered our most sacred rituals to include them. And look at our modern society. Dog culture isn't a hobby. It's a multi-billion-dollar global industry. We buy them specific organic diets, send them to therapy, plan our vacations around them, and celebrate their birthdays with custom cakes. We have restructured our entire daily lives to cater to a species that learned how to tilt its head. We gave them a seat at the table. We gave them the run of the house. We surrendered our authority without a fight. They won the Cold War, and we let them have the keys to the kingdom. The entire modern economy is partially built around catering to their manipulation. So, what does that make the modern dog? We like to think of them as family members, and maybe they are. But they are also highly specialized predators that have figured out exactly how to hack the most complex biological supercomputer on the planet, our brain, and we are letting them do it. We let them sleep in our beds. We let them eat our leftover steaks. We let them destroy our furniture. And when we get angry, all they have to do is tilt their head, raise one inner eyebrow, and our brain instantly floods with oxytocin, wiping the memory of the destroyed couch from our minds. This is not domestication. This is a partnership. A 10,000-year Cold War that ended in a complete, unconditional surrender of the human heart. We didn't tame the wolf. We weren't even the dominant species in that relationship. They just looked at us, and we gave them everything we had. Every piece of kibble, every scratched door frame, every single one of us, walking out into the rain at 2 a.m. because they need to go outside, and doing it with a smile on our face, because their eyes look just a little bit too sad to say no. Your dog isn't your best friend because it was bred to be loyal. Your dog is your best friend because it evolved to be a masterclass in emotional manipulation, and you are exactly the kind of species that falls for it, every single time.